Okay, we are back. This is the Hot Seat radio show. Sean Fortine and Donovan Sadiq. And that is mean Sean Fortine, as he hates everybody equally. And he will give us the update on what had happened at the debate Sunday, which was the Edgemont debate. And we are also joined by Moreno Valley Unified School District member and candidate Area 2, Daryl Terrell, who's going to be joining us on a regular basis. And he also was at the local debate. So, again, a lot of rumors that are going out there. I believe Crosswords Church is going to be, they're on the works of putting in a mayoral debate. We haven't got the dates for that yet. Dr. Mary McBean wants to do another debate in the Edgemont area for the mayoral candidates. But I think depending on these dates, it might be a little too much at the same, in the same time frame, but we'll see how that works out. But a very successful debate Sunday put on by News from Edgemont. I got to pat myself on the back and pat my team on the back. We are making an impact. And so let's start it off. Sean Fortine, what's happening?
Well, I thought the debate was pretty well run. I liked how it was run better than the last one, actually. I thought at times, especially later in the mayoral debate part, seemed like the pastor wasn't objective as he was at the start, which, I don't know, I think he should have kept the same objective methods. But as far as how it started, I think Chris Baca's candidacy is a joke, but just to be fair, I got to say what I think of that is that he mentioned something to the effect of that he put a lot of thought into why he should run. He thought of everything he thought of as a reason to run, and he couldn't find a reason not to run. The thing that concerns me is he didn't have the introspection into himself to see faults that could cause him a problem in his candidacy or in his ability to function as a city councilman if he doesn't know where his own weaknesses are.
Right. Okay. But I did like a lot of some of the stuff that he was saying, because it seems like he's on a retrospective tour to okay, I screwed up here. Now, some people are saying it's because he's not getting the white envelope anymore. But then again, one thing we do know, by his own admission, he's up to $100 in donations or how he wants to run his campaign. I believe he can get his message out. And I do want to see him come on the show and promote his message here and kind of tell us, because Jesse Molina, they keep alleging something, and then they don't give you, they don't give you the bone. They got the meat, but they won't give you the bone. So I thought that was interesting. What did you think about Chris Baca?
He was, like you were saying, it was more a reflection of the past and going forward. But he came out with a different direction, and I think that he did speak from. I would say he did from observation. That he did speak from the heart about the happenings in the city. But, again, when it comes to these elections, people want to hear specifics. You can't just go around the bush and not be specific on what are you going to do. Because, like you were saying, the folks at Edgemont want to know, hey, what are you going to do about infrastructure? And sometimes, again, it's you don't go directly and answer the question. You go around it before you get to the answer.
Right. I mean, at least let us know something. Like I said, I had a plan. It might be an unpopular plan, but it's a realistic plan, because the people in Edgemont, they keep talking about, we're underdeveloped, nobody's looking at us. But the only way you can do that is solve the water problem. Now, like I said at the debate, it's a very unpopular, but you can solve that water problem. Unfortunately, the people who own that water company do not have enough money themselves to fix them.
Why don't we wait on the water problem, because that happened at the end of the debate.
Right.
But I was going to say, the look on Chris Baca's face was priceless when when the pastor got to my question about funding mental health services.
Okay. Oh yeah.
It was like bug-eyed, like something out of Looney Tunes.
Right. Wait, you keep saying the pastor, you mean the moderator?
Yeah, the moderator.
Yeah, moderator. Yeah. Chris, excellent job, by the way. I think he was a good guy, very intimidating looking. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Had a nice strong voice. I do have to say this. Nobody that was there said it was a bad debate. Even the Highland Fairview people said this was a pretty good debate, for what it was, and...
Yeah, well, you didn't have the peanut gallery right behind you.
Right. Well, again, the peanut gallery was controlled because nobody was allowed to have mics but the moderator, who pretty much controlled it. So the audience couldn't talk at all other than what they wrote down on a card, which I thought was genius to control the Highland Fairview employees.
Yeah. But yeah, Bach's rambling ideas for how to handle mental health services. I mean, seriously, making a special fund for panhandling, what's that supposed to be?
Well, I was thinking about what he was saying, and I was like, well, if that's his answer, that's his answer. So I got to worry about my answer. So.
Yeah, nothing about getting county to step up. Nothing about community block grants. Nothing about getting private services involved. Nothing about even child protective services or adult protective services. Or there's a bunch of programs there that could be filled in.
Nonprofit.
Yeah. Baca didn't have an answer for any of those.
Okay. What do you think?
Well, that's the thing about it, though. Like you were saying, Sean, when we talk about campus, what subjects that they always talk about, the economic development, but they don't talk about the social needs. That's what's lacking in any election, is the human needs of the residents in the community, because it has a lot to do with the poverty. It has a lot to do with people not going to work or the homeless issue. That's one of the root causes. But campaigns that have never seemed like locally have been drawn upon how many jobs can you create, how you gonna keep people safe, but not the human need. That's what's needed. That's always lacking. And you brought a good question up, because the fact that's something that needs to be talked about along with other issues.
Right. Now, what about some of the other candidates in the mayor? Now, we don't want to talk about me. I know I wasn't.
I want to bring up you real quick because for most of the debate between you and Jempson, it seemed like.
And be honest.
For a while, it seemed like the debate between you. It almost seemed like voting for either of you would have been just as good until the end, when she cited things that you brought up as things that she did based on things that you talked to her about. Then it's like, okay, then
why not cut out the middleman and just make Donovan the
exactly? Oh, it's like, okay. The only reason they sound the same is because she was using your ideas.
Right, exactly. And what did I say at the end of the? I mean, and nothing against Miss Jempson. Well, like I said, she's my opponent, but I kind of pushed her in that direction on purpose because I wanted her to slip and go off to that mantra that she's been talking about. Like, well, I use the residents' ideas. You're in Edgemont right now. Do you really need the residents' idea to find something to do here? You can look around you. You don't need a resident to tell you what needs to be done. So I kind of trapped her in that aspect. So I was kind of glad about that.
The only thing, and then I guess it kind of segues into the mayoral debate, is the talk about sidewalks. I'm still of the opinion that putting in sidewalks, it should not be a number one priority. I think like getting the homelessness taken care of, getting the mental health services taken care of, getting the drugs taken care of. I mean, once you can have like an undeveloped community, but once it's clean and crime free, then it's still marketable as a place to live and a place to set up business.
Very, very true. But at the same time, money, which is totally illegal, that property tax that they took from that neighborhood, my neighborhood, should be in an escrow account right now. So that what you're saying is true, but at the same time, there is no escrow account for the property tax that was taken from the Edgemont neighborhood that exists because they put it in the general fund for the benefit of the other city.
Okay, I agree with that, but I'm just thinking maybe there is room for a sidewalk. But I'm not saying that sidewalks are never important, but I'm saying that
priority-wise,
maybe before dumping money into concrete, maybe they should be a little more judicious about what their priorities are.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll agree with that. But Mr. Terrell, we're building a 21st century elementary school, and there are no sidewalks on Elementary Street or Edgemont Street.
Is a problem.
Yeah. We got to put at least in that street a sidewalk so the kids going down the main Edgemont Street could get to the school. At least do that. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, you got to have kids safety, number one priority. You can't have kids walking in the middle of the street, or as someone used to tell me a long time ago, you know, when it rains, all that mud, well, how you have kids, you know, ruin their shoes. But the thing is, you got to have the infrastructure, you got to have the sidewalks, and I think that should be a partnership. So that's, again, that we have these silos that each entity are working like they're by themselves instead of working together to make these things happen.
So let me ask you this, that $400 million bond, isn't the sidewalks part of that bond, or is that just for school property itself?
I think that's only for the facility. It's for the
facility itself.
So it's not like city fee, but it doesn't stop, because that money is restricted.
Right.
But at the same time, it still doesn't mean that you still can't partner to get those sidewalks done.
True.
I mean, because if you could, like I said, think in the box or outside of the box, but that's how things have to happen. You have to find other means to make it happen. You just can't throw your hands up and say, well, we can't do it because we don't have the money. But as you said before, you know, you're not privy to all the information. But once you're in there, you can start asking those kind of questions. How can we make this happen? Because, you know, in the city, when they say we need police officers, they make it happen. How do they do that? They find money.
Except here.
Yeah, exactly. So they can make it happen if they wanted to make it happen. Again, it depends on who's in office
and how forceful they are.
Exactly.
Right now, you know, and so there was only 3 people in the District 1 heat, and I thought it went really, really well.
Yeah.
You know, the banter, we had an adult discussion, people listened to our ideas, and everything was great. Now, let's go to the mayor.
Baca wasn't there, which I want to point out. She chickened out. Right.
Well, Baca wasn't there. Mercado, Mr. I don't want to go to Donovan's self-promotion, which it wasn't a self-promotion about me at all. It was basically about the Edgemont area and what's going to happen there. But
Lowell wasn't there. Right,
Brian Lowell wasn't there. Denise, I'm going to bring the city together, Fleming wasn't there, but her husband was. This lives an eighth of a mile away from the event and did not show up.
Yeah. And
how do you explain that?
I think that's inexcusable, and also I find it inexcusable that there wasn't enough District 3 candidates there to have a debate with them. Right.
Well, you know, in all fairness with them, we invited them to, you know, to put their thing out. If they wanted to debate, you know, go ahead and do it, but not enough of them contacted us. Only Millie Bailey contacted us, and then she got sick at the event and had to leave. So I'll give her props. She was going to do it, but she got sick. But Dave Marquez was there, and you know, I guess, you know, because it was about Edgemont and what you're going to do about this side of the area in the District 1. Excuse me. But in the mayoral debates, what do you guys think about that, Daryl?
It was very informative, I would say, because you learned a lot, but also you start hearing different ideas and different leadership, I guess you call it
traits,
and but also too, you had, it seemed like legend things were happening. Well, information that was either right information or not right, wrong information. We didn't really know, but I thought it was a good debate. It was a good insight.
Well, what I liked about the mayors, especially, all 4 of them came off as knowledgeable in what they want to do and where they want to go. So I like that part. Now, there, you know, I mean, like I said, I like the Pedon's public policy, because everything does drive from policy. If you don't have a vision, it doesn't go anywhere. So I like that. Carrie Thin came off as very knowledgeable, a lot of numbers, a lot of ideas when it comes to revenue, generating revenue and things like that. George Price, law and order enforcement. I'm not saying he's a Trump guy, but I'm just saying he had that as a specialty. Yeah. And Jesse Molina, as always, comes off as a average, everyday guy that you can relate to. And, you know, he was alleging stuff that I was like, come on, Jesse, just go ahead and drop it. But, you know, he was making a really good showing for himself. So what do you think, Sean?
Jesse Molina, I don't know, he seemed to be left behind in the debate by the other 3 candidates. He does seem like the average everyday guy, and maybe when you take him out of politics, maybe when you take him out of the Highland Caribbean money, maybe he is a decent guy. But the thing is that right now, I don't think that's going to cut it for a mayor. We've got some pretty big problems, and we need someone that's pretty sharp with the facts and figures and also can think out of the box for some new ideas. I think Fenn had a plan, but I don't agree with it. I think that her reliance on raising local taxes is not going to help. I also think that using the image of California as a great place to do business, I think California's reputation as a great place to do business is starting to tarnish.
Yeah, it's tarnished. Yeah.
So that would be really dangerous to bank on, just to say like, hey, people are going to come do business here because we think we're awesome. I don't think that's going to work. Maybe it could work, but I think there would be a degree of random chance there. I agree that the Pedon's public policy is good. They seem to be a little seeing how people's while they're not bad people, it seems like how morality affects public policy seems to be a bit of a blind spot for them. Because when you talk about substance abuse and mental health and crime and things that go on behind closed doors, they seem to see that as a economic issue, to where it's like, okay, if we make more jobs available, if we make these services available or that service is available, and that's going to fix it.
It's going to fix it and solve the problem.
Yeah, and while I agree that their plan for getting a small business started is good, I am concerned that it's very heavy in bureaucracy, and that you'd be relying on government micromanagement to get the business started, as opposed to just like getting rid of all the fees and all the other red tape to just open up a business in one of the empty stores here.
Storefronts.
Yeah, so I bet their ability to see what goes on in people inside of them, like morality-wise, I think their ability to see that is problematic, and I'm also concerned about their bureaucracy-heavy policy. But otherwise, I'd say that their small business initiatives are pretty good. And then Price. I think there was some misunderstandings about what Price was saying about the big businesses. That I suppose maybe getting some big businesses in here, even big retail businesses in here, might be a start for now. But I think what Price was trying to say is just like, make sure that we're getting every dime of tax money that we can out of those big businesses to fund the city's needs.
So put the squeeze on the big businesses to fund.
Not necessarily
squeeze them.
I wouldn't say no. That's not necessarily squeeze the big businesses, because I mean, as you've seen with all the empty stores, they really don't have any incentive to be here if we do that. But make sure that when it's more about when the tax money is getting divided up, make sure that we're getting every cent that we can.
Okay.
And apparently we're not doing a very good job of that when it comes to dealing with the state level bureaucracies.
Well, I'm going to say this. I honestly believe that these races are going to be very close. The mayor race is going to be very close. The 3rd district, Brian Lowell's done. That's because he outright took Highland Fairview money. I don't think anybody in the 3rd district that was against the WLC and Highland Fairview is going to vote for him. Millie Bailey, she might have a chance, but, young a little bit, what do you think?
I think right now Bailey's two biggest problems is that she used to be a Highland Fairview candidate. I mean, I've talked to her, you've talked to her. It's her story pretty much matches what Evan Morgan's been saying, or more probably talking crap about her.
Right.
I mean, Evan Morgan's story is about her, what happened between her and Highland Fairview is a lot less flattering than how she presents it, but it's more or less, the two stories are very similar, so I really don't think that her and Highland Fairview are playing really well. I mean, I've heard the rumors about how she's a vote splitter, but like I said, I don't think that her and Ito are playing well enough to do that.
Right, but I'm just saying, for people in District 3, those are people that are a little older, they have money.
Yeah.
Like I said, she's kind of young right now. I'm not saying she can't do it.
But the other thing I think is a problem for her is the whole address issue. Okay, where is she living right now?
Right.
But, I mean, if she loses, I hope she reorganizes her...
I hope she doesn't go away.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't go away. I hope she puts a little time and effort into her nonprofit programs, because those are great. I hope she takes some time to maybe a couple of years to plan for the next election cycle.
Right.
And so I wasn't really impressed with Tellez and Marquez. Marquez, when he brought numbers, his numbers were just way off. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, but I mean, he's the only other candidate in that district. So I honestly, looking at it for myself as a political analyst, I see Dave Marquez basically winning that area, which is it's not a Highland Fairview. We know one thing about Dave; he's not a Highland Fairview guy. I do know that. But the other two districts are going to be very, very, very close. So, but in the end, let's talk about the people that weren't there and why they.
Well, just 1 second. The water question came up at the end.
Yeah, at the end.
And even though Melissa Martinez wasn't on the debate, she did bring up a pretty good point that the residents of the
area,
Fox Springs Water District don't want to have their water system eminent domained.
Right.
So if that's the way they want to be, I guess that's the way they're going to be.
Right.
I just think we got to be careful for the rest of the city not to
infringe on that.
Well, not just infringe on that, but also not to just suddenly make it our emergency when it breaks down and they come crying for help.
See, and that's the problem that you got to understand. You can't have it both ways, Edgemont, and that's one thing I know. They have one pump working that water system, because like I said, I've been dealing with the Box Springs water thing behind the closed doors, and I know what's really going on over there.
Yeah.
Melissa Martinez knows what's really going on over there. If that pump...
And I know a fraction of what's going on over there, and I just can't believe what's going on.
Right, exactly. But their system is over 80 years old. If that pump gets shut down, you're going to have over 5,000 people that have no water, and then a company, Western Municipal or Eastern Municipal, is going to have to come in and take over that water.
But there was also brought up that there's no incentive for any other water district to take it over because there's no assets.
No, that's true. But in the aspect of if that water pump breaks and they can't fix it, somebody's going to have to come in there. There's just no doubt about it.
Well, that goes back to saying they got to do something, because it's not fair to the rest of the city if we're trying to help them and they don't want to do anything, and then it breaks down and they come crying for help. And
we're going to have no choice but to come in there and do what we got to do, which is what I was saying. I know it's unpopular. It's been 32 years since the city of Morelia has existed. However, you can't keep kicking this problem down the road because a few people don't want their water. It's just like they said about the WLC. So a few people are going to inconvenience progress? No. I mean, I'm not saying take it over. I'm just saying if you ask me the question, there is a way to solve it. It's an unpopular way, but you can solve that water problem. So, but let's get to the people that did not show up, which was lately, as soon as the thing was over, Deborah Craig, who was there, I don't go to her blog, but she called everybody there a loser. Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So what's your take on that? I don't know what debate she was watching.
I don't know. It seems like Deborah Craig runs on emotion more than logic. I don't know. I don't have any good information on exactly what her motivation for thinking this project is. Why her motivation for...
Well, she's being paid by Highland Fairview. She was paid by Highland Fairview.
She's actually, taking money from them?
Well, no. When she ran for 2 years ago, she took money and she bought her likes on her page. It's actually on her 460.
Yeah, Ito hires people or uses people and dumps them, and then hires new people and dumps them, which is part of what you've been seeing in the old Highland Fairview supporters versus the new Highland Fairview supporters picking fights with each other. Right. Because basically, Ito didn't give any perks for a job well done. They're just no longer needed. They're gone. So I don't see what. Maybe Ito once upon a time dumped money into Deborah Craig's campaign, but I'm just not seeing what she has to gain from it. I mean, I've heard. I've heard a lot of unverifiable things, and I'm not going to get into that because, like I said, it's unverifiable. But it just, I don't know. It seems like I don't know. Maybe it's a case of it's easier to fool someone than to convince them they've been fooled. I don't know.
Right. Well, what I heard was, like I said, I was on the stage, so I didn't see the altercation, but I heard that the moderator told her to shut up.
Yes.
And that's what
was
set her off.
Was it Pete Bleckert or Roy Bleckert?
Yeah, and Roy was with her. I don't know if he talked. I don't know what the situation, but that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And I guess she got upset, whatever, and then she left or whatever. Because during the debate she was talking, and especially when Carrie Thin was talking, and so what I heard.
Oh yeah, Carrie Thin really fried her.
Yeah, for some reason, and she was just really going in on Carrie Thin.
Oh, because Carrie Thin was the one that talked the most about that. The warehouse developments right now are 85% speculation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true, because if a company actually wants a warehouse, the companies that are actually coming and doing business in a warehouse in the area are buying their own land, bringing in their own construction company, and building their own facility. The rest are just empty warehouses that someone's hoping and praying will get that someone will decide they want to use.
Okay. Now, and that's what I heard why she was upset. She got, whatever. She got chastised. And being a teacher, she should know how important it is to be quiet and listen to the moderator or whatever the speakers. But that's what I heard. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure some point in her career she's probably heard the term if your mouth is going, your brain's not.
Right. But she started bashing the event. Like I said, I didn't hear anybody say anything bad about it until I heard about what she wrote on the blog. And basically, it wasn't a Highland. This whole thing had nothing to do with Highland Fairview. The four main questions was, what are you going to do about Edgemont? What are you going to do about the Box Springs Water Company? What are you going to do about big money in politics and the animal shelter? Those were the only four canned questions for the candidates. All the other questions came from the audience. So,
and I don't know. I think maybe we're going on too much about Deborah Craig because she's only made herself relevant because of her antics.
Yeah, that's true too. But I wanted to bring that up. But Daryl, you were there as a spectator and kind of see what was going on. Was it a Highland Fairview bash fest in your opinion?
No, I just think that the issues that were relevant, just like you were saying, the water, what are you going to do about jobs, public safety.
Yeah.
I think it was basically issues that doesn't have a Highland Fairview. It's basically
other things other than.
Yeah, because like some folks say, it's the WLC is over. We got to live with it, and we got to make it work. Mm-hmm. And to be stuck on people's, the antis this, the antis that, that's foolishness. Because the fact that we got real problems facing after this year, next year, and continue out into the future, unless we come together. But the whole debate was about the real issues that face Edgemont. But
we got to be careful about defining and make it work, because right now, if this project, like I've been saying, if this project is so great, Ito shouldn't have any trouble getting a private construction loan to do everything he's claiming.
Ooh, right. Very, very true.
So making it work shouldn't have to come out of our pocket if this project is so great.
Well, like a lot of the people said, and I did some little homework on it as I'm getting my numbers, and that's what I was alleging to at the debate, was the infrastructure to go with this warehouse madness, what it's going to cost, whatever the deal is. People got to realize, for them to even start the WLC, you need to have drainage pipes out there. You need infrastructure out there to even start. Water hoses, things to get the thing. Somebody's got to pay for that. And guess who that somebody is? And that's what Chris Baca is alleging to. Remember, he had made a thing. And that's, I'm trying to put the pieces together. That's why I want him on this show, so we can kind of pick his brain.
Yeah, well, it would be nice to see Ito at least build a porta-can before we give him money.
A porta-can, that's,
anything, really.
Anything, right. So it's just like George Price said, show us some good faith. Maybe a building here, a porta potties. Anyway.
Yeah, because if you want $700 million, or whatever the figure is, in public bonds, I mean, it's like I've been saying, Donald Trump got criticized for having like $350 million to like $600 million in debt from construction loans.
Right.
That's pretty common for a construction, and he's doing that through private banking. And like I was saying about the World Logistics Center, well, really any other business around here, if their business is going to be so great, why do they need to rely on public bonds? Why can't they go the construction loan route that normal companies do?
Well, I think it's because Moreno Valley, and that says it all. Moreno Valley is just giving away the house.
Yeah.
But let's pivot a little bit, Daryl. You have a report on the Moreno Valley School Board. What did you see? What did you hear?
Well, it was chaos. that's the least word. I was just like, it was just chaotic.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was just
But why was it chaotic? What was it about? What was happening?
Well, some of the things that were said, because you have parents that come to the school board meeting. They came there because they were talking about their special needs kids and some of the issues around their special needs kids. You had some parents who were speaking about the cafeteria workers, but the main thing is that it was about the lack of communication, the lack of response from school district officials to parents in regards to their child. And President Hogan, he made a good point, because he was saying that some of the things that were going on, that, you know, when you have a case, there's always two sides to every case, two sides to every issue, and it's a process, but not knowing how long the process. But I think the thing is the parents was left out of the process, or don't know exactly what was happening, so they left it up in the air, because you're talking about a big bureaucracy in the school district. It's a big bureaucracy,
right? But what was the chaos? Well, I mean,
the chaos was because there are people, you know, going there. Like I said, people.
Wait. Could you name some of the people who were? I mean, is this somebody who we might have heard about before?
Yeah. Was there any public speakers that were on record being unruly?
Well, there was. Well, you have to define what ruly is.
Well, unruly,
but what I'm saying, there was people like.
Okay, in your opinion, were less than civilized, and most people are normally at those meetings.
Well, yeah, I would say they were very highly emotional individuals.
I mean, is anybody that is known as a public person that is?
Miss Palomares was there.
Oh, Louise.
And then there was Evan Morgan was there.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Is it true that Evan Morgan hogged a lot of the time?
Oh, he got allowed at the same He got allowed at the same time as everybody else, 3 minutes.
Wait a minute. You're telling me a person who is running for the school board was at the school board being unruly?
Like I said, he was, like I said, define again. It's what you define really, because he was. I'm just saying like it is. He was passionate about what his issues were. He was passionate.
Okay.
And he was just pointing out what his perception was of what was going on between the school district and the parents. And sometimes we all become passionate. I get passionate about some things, but he was allowed at the 3 minutes like everybody else was.
Now, you know, in Evan's defense, he does have daughters. I think a daughter and a son or something.
Last I heard, his daughters were like in Chino or Rialto or something.
Well, yeah, but you know, he does have children. Maybe.
But they're not in the school district. And also, I think that Evan Morgan, being a candidate, should have been sitting back and observing what's going on and thinking and planning rather than running his mouth. And also, if there were parents with serious concerns about their special needs kids, why is Evan Morgan hogging 3 minutes? I mean, if they only allot 21 minutes for all speakers, that like leaves like a minute and a few seconds for the
anybody
special
else.
Needs parents, and Evan Morgan's hogging a disproportionate amount of time, and so is Palomares and all those.
Well, that was the issue over, because they were allowed it. They were allowed at 21 minutes, and some parents wanted to have their say, and that caused a lot of chaos because they were trying to find a compromise, but then a school board talked over among themselves and decided to give everybody to hear everybody's concerns. And so what I'm saying about Mr. Morgan is the fact that he was speaking his part, then the parents were given their 3 minutes, because there were a lot of important issues that, like I said, the special needs, and there was other employee issues, but that's what caused the chaos, is the fact that they were limited to 20. It's like at the city council, you know how you had 30 minutes? Then all of a sudden, you know, they could extend it, so they talked among themselves. Because people, I guess, didn't understand that they only allowed it for 21 minutes, but they had the discretion to extend it. So the school board says, and Mr. Hogan said, you know what, I want to hear all the parents. And so Mr. Morgan and Ms. Palomares and the parents were speaking.
But the rumor is they were screaming at Denise Fleming. Why was that?
Well,
everybody there. Okay. Everybody go to the tape. I mean, the school board thing. It is recorded, so you can see it.
Well,
but I heard that a lot of people were upset at Miss Fleming for basically some of the things that I had said, that she's putting her propaganda in the schools, or was, and she's putting she's the mayor on her thing, which is kind of misleading to a lot of parents and people like that. I mean, that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true.
That kind of information was brought forward, and that information was brought forward, and a lot of people was mentioning about her running for mayor. And when I mean running for mayor, and what you just said a few minutes ago about the signs or the school putting the information in the teachers' lounge and things like that, but they were basically it was more a double-edged sword.
Right.
Basically, it was about her running for mayor. Basically.
Right. Now, wait. Now, so you're saying other people are alleging she put stuff in the school lounge?
Well, yes.
Okay.
There was one individual that said that.
Okay.
That made
that claim.
Not a lot of people.
So it isn't just me throwing stuff out of it.
Is it verifiable that we can get? Can we verify those claims, or are we getting into tall tales?
We already verified those claims, and Miss Fleming was admonished by the school information officer, whoever, that said that, hey, yeah, we are finding this stuff. We can't exactly say Fleming did it, but it is her stuff. Okay, the captain of the ship is responsible no matter what it is, and he put out an email and a letter admonishing Miss Fleming and saying nobody put out stuff in the school lounges and stuff like that because other candidates can't do it. But so with Miss Fleming, so what was Mrs. Fleming's reaction to all that?
Well, she did it. She handled it with grace, and she was basically. She didn't respond to it, but she did a more. What's
around the way?
Well, no, it was like.
I'm Denise Fleming. I'm from Chicago.
No, not like that.
Oh, not that one.
No,
okay, sorry.
No, she was basically she used diplomacy, but also she did a state like a response.
Mm-hmm.
Some people would have started raising, what,
right?
But for her,
hey! If you want to curse on this show, this is the internet.
No,
you can curse, but you're running for school board, so don't do that.
Well, no, that's the thing about.
I'm thinking we should try to keep the show family friendly.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, she handled it with grace. Okay. I mean, she didn't go out there and had a shouting match and think she.
Wait! She's from Chicago. She's supposed to take it out to the streets. Louise, get your butt out here! I'm from Chicago. We don't take it like that. Come on out! I'm from Chicago, girl.
We've got Chicago politics,
exactly.
San Diego's economy, Detroit's infrastructure, and now I just saw there's an article saying that we're the fattest town in the U.S.
Oh, wow. That's incredible because Mississippi have nothing but fat people down there. And trust me, I was there a couple months ago, and I'm telling you.
So, I mean, there's countries that are bigger than us, but, I mean, there's countries that have a higher rate of obesity than us, but they're like South Pacific Islands and stuff. So Moreno Valley is bigger than some of those islands. So I mean, if you think about it, if there's alien invasion, guess where they're coming for dinner?
Oh man, what's that Twilight Zone episode?
No.
Yeah, there was an episode like that where they're eating us and stuff like that.
Well, that was like the H.G. Wells War of the Worlds.
Right.
They ate the aliens and the Martians were eating
harvesting,
fat people too.
Right, are harvesting. But again, Daryl, so that's really good. Please go check out the tape. I know they rebroadcast it.
Yeah, so basically we just got to get rid of this. One more reason to get rid of most of these people that are in our city council. And I wanted to get back to Evan Morgan real quick, is that the school board job is not to run around making these unilateral decisions like a banana dictator, like Evan Morgan's made some pretty bold claims that all the stuff he's going to do, when really his job is to sit back and listen and make decisions based on the stuff that's been brought to him and not be a banana dictator. And
well, there's 7 people on the school board, so how one person? 5,
exactly.
I mean, it takes a group of people, and and it's like I've been saying all the time, and me and Miss Jimson getting arguments, me and Victoria Baca getting arguments. Your main job is to represent the district. Nobody wants to hear what you've done for the city. Nobody wants to hear about it, especially not in this district. But you're supposed to represent the district first, and then work with the city second. Yeah. So if I take care of my district, you take care of your district, you take care of your district as a whole, as a city, where we should do fine.
Well, that's the whole thing about when you talk about the mayor election, is who's going to bring the city together.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing we always have to think about. Even though there's so many different interests out, who's the one that's going to bring the city together, around a common purpose, like Sean was talking about. See, a mayor could do things like what you were saying for mental health and substance abuse.
You got to have a vision.
Folks. Yeah, but you got to bring people together. You just can't. You got to say, you know what? I may not agree with you, but I don't hate your guts. I always use that because that's how some people take it. Where I disagree with you, so you hate my guts. No, I disagree with you, but there's other things we can work on together that's bigger than what my personal issues are. Right. And that's the thing. You're going to have America that bring the city together. That's it. I mean, because nothing else is going to work.
Well, so you don't that Denise Fleming from Chicago. I'm going to bring them together. And before I go, let me preach. Let me get you together. I'm from the south side of Chicago. This is how we do it. That's what I hear whenever I hear Denise Fleming talk.
Well, no, you're going to have someone that says, you know what, again, that we have to work together. Like I say, even if we against or doesn't support the WLC,
right?
Okay, like I always say, we still got to make it work. I know you have a different opinion, Sean, about that, and I understand that. But again, we need a mayor that someone, like we said, inspire the city that can focus on the human needs of this community.
Yeah, and give us direction.
Yeah, and the poverty. All that leads to, again, the substance abuse and the mental health issues that run rapid in this community.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. The poorest, undeveloped area...
I kind of wish we're doing video right now because what we're talking about with the substance abuse and the mental health is really relevant right here now.
Right here, right now. We're on at the Starbucks off of Fredericks, Wednesdays, 4 to 6. Donovan, Sean, and Daryl, and this is the hot seat. But real quick, when we're talking about these candidates, and you're talking about a person that's going to lead us and all this other stuff, and I know I'm joking with Denise and everything. I'm a candidate. Daryl's a candidate. Sean hates everybody. But what the most underdeveloped area, and you did not show up as a candidate to answer the questions of those residents. To me, no show means no vote. I mean, how could you not go to that debate, even if you didn't want to? Give props to LaDonna Jimson. I did not think she was going to show, but she did because I boxed her into a corner to where she had to, but she showed up. So I'm going to give all the props for doing that. I can't say that she did not stand up and represent the district like she's supposed to. And that's a trait in a leader that you should have. Denise Fleming, I got her card right here, and she says she has what it takes, but yet she will not come and address the poorest area of the city, and she lives less than 1/8 of a mile, but she sends her husband. What is that? I mean, that's just my opinion. So, I mean, what do you think? Mean Sean Fortine?
I'm really not enjoying this election, and quite frankly, I wish that getting hit with an asteroid strike really was on the ballot.
Well,
get rid of it all.
Well, yeah, but I think that the mayoral candidates is going to be a very hard decision there. It's our first time electing a citywide mayor. Yeah. It's going to be hard, and it's going to be very close. That's my opinion. It's just going to be close because either we're going to keep it with the same old, or go with something new. It is the year of the woman, Hillary Clinton. So, a good thing for Carrie Thin. There's a lot of women me and Daryl were talking to two ladies just before the show came on, and they were saying, I'm going to vote for Carrie Thin. I said, well, why? They go, well, maybe it's time for a woman. I mean, some people think like that. So, or we can go with the new, Daryl Peden, young, policy-driven. Like I said, a lot of people might not like what he has to say, but look where we're at right now. Can we do any worse? I think we can.
Gutierrez?
Yes. Yeah, I think we can. Question answered.
Well, I think with the George Price, he's aware of what's going on. He knows how this. He
has the
works.
Connections.
But he's also, he's like I said, he sits back and observes. He's very judicious. Right now, I wish there were more candidates like that, because right now it's usually the big loudmouths that get the most attention. Are you
implying anything, Sean? See, I'm telling everybody, Sean doesn't hold back. I think that was a slight at me. Yeah, I think it was.
No, it applies to most the politics, because the media, rather than newspapers, are the big way of conveying information, and now it's the biggest loudmouth that gets
all
the
press, right? Okay, this has been the Hot Seat with Sean Fortine. Terrell is in the house, and myself, Donovan Sadiq. This has been a great discussion. We'll see you guys again next week. This has been the Hot Seat.